Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another meal prep video. In today's video for breakfast prep, I'm going to be doing a French toast casserole. This looks so delicious. For lunch prep this week, I'm going to do another simple one. This is just going to be turkey, vegetables, and potatoes. And then for my dinner kits this week, I think I just have one or two to do and just a few things with snacks. So if you want to see how I meal prep breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks for my husband and I, then stay with me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kristi and I'm Planning Us Healthy. So if you're new here, I do want to say welcome. Like I said, my name is Kristi. I'm currently following the WW Blue program, but on my channel, I do provide the points for all three programs, and I also share calories as well. But you don't need to be on any type of weight loss program to get tips and ideas for my channel. And before I get started with meal prep, I want to mention that all the recipes you see will be linked down in the description box below, as well as any of the items that I use. I try to put direct links to Amazon, so if you're interested in some of the items that I'm using, then you can get the direct links. They will be listed down in the description box. So let's get started with meal prep. So like I said, for breakfast, I'm doing a French toast casserole. I actually did a stuffed French toast casserole for breakfast prep one time. This is actually a pound dropper recipe. It looked really good. So for the points on this, this is going to make 6. So if you're new to my channel, I usually do 6 breakfasts and 6 lunches for my husband and I. Usually Thursday and Friday we have something different. So I usually just meal prep Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So for this one, if you're counting calories, it's 174 calories per serving. And if you're on blue or purple, it's 5 points per serving. If you're on green, it's 6 if you're using liquid eggs, or 7 if you're using whole eggs. So this looks like a fairly easy recipe. So I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. So let me go through real quick what we're going to need. We're going to need 14 slices of 1 point bread. I'm using this Fit and Active Aldi bread. That is a true 1 point per slice. So she does recommend that you can use Sara Lee 45 calorie bread, Nature's Own no sugar added bread, or 647 Schmidt bread. The other things we're going to need are 2 cups of fruit. You can have fresh or frozen. I actually have some fruit I'm getting ready to wash in just a minute. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And then we need 5 large eggs. I'm just using these eggs I get from Aldi. We also need 2.5 cups of fat-free half and half, or she says you can use 2 cups of skim or unsweetened almond milk plus a half a cup of regular half and half. I'm also going to use 1/4 cup of the 0% white granulated sugar. I'm using the Lakanto's monk fruit sweetener. And then a tablespoon of lemon or orange zest, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 1/4 cup of sugar-free syrup. She uses Mrs. Butterworth's or Choc Zero, no sugar. I'm going to use Maple Grove Farms low-calorie sugar-free. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I just use my OXO salad spinner to wash my fruits and vegetables. So I have actually some strawberries that my husband had picked up from a farmer's market. So I got those in there. I'm going to put in, she says use 2 cups, but I'm just going to put in all my fruits. I'm going to wash them all, and then I'll just measure out 2 cups, and then we'll have some for snacking if we want. So I have some blueberries. I've got some red raspberries, and then I also have some blackberries. So I'm just going to put some water in here and also some white vinegar. I use about 4 parts water to 1 part vinegar. You don't have to use vinegar. I just use it. My grandmother taught me to use it to get the bacteria off. So I'm sure soaking it in regular water will do just as good. All right, so I'm just gonna let those sit and soak in that vinegar water just for a little bit while I get my bread ready for the casserole. Okay, so I've got my 14 slices of bread, and I'm just gonna cut those up into 1-inch cubes. Okay, so I've got my bread cut up, and I'm leaving it in, half of it is in the dish and half here, because we actually just need half of it in the baking dish for now. I have a 3-quart casserole dish. I'm just using a 13x9, which is a 3-quart. And I have it sprayed with cooking spray. And now I'm just gonna put half of the bread in the bottom of there. So now I've had my fruit sitting, so I'm just gonna dump out that water and just rinse the vinegar off of it. All right, now I've got some paper towels over here. I'm just gonna lay it on the paper towels. So now I'm just gonna let those sit here and just dry a little bit. So I'm gonna let those sit for a little bit. I'm gonna cut my strawberries up actually into a little bit smaller pieces, but you don't need to watch me do that. All right, so I have here measured out about 2 cups of the fruit. So I'm gonna just put half of the fruit on there. Then the rest of the bread. And then another layer of the fruit. Just put the rest of the fruit right on there. Try and even it out the best you can. I'm gonna set that aside. And I'm gonna take the same bowl, I'm gonna crack 5 eggs in there. And then 2.5 cups of fat-free half and half. Then we want 1/4 cup of the sweetener. So you can use any 0-point sweetener. And then 1/4 cup of the syrup. Two teaspoons of vanilla extract. And then about a tablespoon of lemon or orange zest. I'm just gonna use this lemon, and I'm not gonna measure it out. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. I'll probably just use, this is a pretty small lemon, so I'll probably just use the whole thing. All right, and then just whisk that all together. And also, she says to just put a pinch of salt. Now, take our dish. Doesn't that look so good? That looks so good to me. So after this is whisked real good, just pour the batter right over the top. And then she says that at this point after this, you can cover it with foil or plastic wrap and refrigerate it overnight. So you can actually make this ahead overnight. So this would be a great thing to do like on a Saturday night for a Sunday morning brunch or something. So now I'm gonna cover this with foil, which I'm not gonna do while I'm talking because the foil is really loud on camera. So I'm gonna cover it with some foil. It's gonna go in the oven for 20 minutes. Then I'm gonna remove the foil and it's gonna go back in the oven for another 20 to 30 minutes. So this is gonna take about an hour to bake. So while this is baking, I'm actually gonna move on to my lunches. And like I said, my oven is preheated to 350 degrees. So in the next hour while the French toast casserole is baking, I'm actually gonna finish prep. So I'm gonna move on to my lunches now, and then I'll throw my dinner kits together, and I should be able to do the lunch, the dinner kits, and get I think I have a cantaloupe that I gotta cut up. So I should be able to get all that done within the next hour. And that way when the breakfast is done, I just portion it out and I'm done with meal prep. This is lunch prep this week. Like I said, another very easy one, a shortcut. I actually picked these up a couple weeks ago and I haven't used them yet. So I thought these would be great to have with the lunches. On all programs, it's gonna be 5 points. This turkey breast does scan for even blue and purple, so it's 2 points for the 4-ounce portion. And then for the oven roasters, it's 3 points for 1.5 cups. So it's gonna be a 5-point lunch on all programs. If you're counting calories, the turkey for 4 ounces is gonna be 120 calories. And if you are on calories for 1 1/4 cups is 90 calories of the potatoes. And then if you're counting calories, of course, I'm also having broccoli, which I think are like 30 calories. So on Monday night when I do salmon, I always do broccoli with salmon. So because I'm having broccoli Monday night, I am going to have green beans on Monday for lunch. So, because I don't want to have broccoli for lunch and dinner. Now, these do have to go in the oven at 450 degrees. I was thinking I could put them in there with the French toast casserole. You could still do that and just cook them a little bit longer. They take 25 minutes, so you could put them in there and let them cook a little bit longer. But I think what I'm going to do is just put them in my convection oven and let them roast in there. So I have my convection oven pan sprayed with some cooking spray, and I'm just going to dump these in here. So these are onions and potatoes. Now it says that the serving size on this, it says there's 4 1/2 servings per container and that it's 1 1/4 cups. But when I scanned it, you could actually have 1 1/2 cups for the 3 points. So I'm just going to use the 2 bags and split them into 6 containers, and I should be pretty much at my 3 points. I'm not going to get exact on that. All right, so those are going in the convection oven. I'm going to put them on 450 for about 25 minutes. So I just realized I'm actually only going to need 1 of these because each of these is about 1 1/2 pounds. It's a little bit short of a 1 1/2. So I only need to use 1 of these. So I'm just going to weigh out the 4 ounces in each container and then add my broccoli and also my green beans. So the potatoes are done. Now normally if I were making these right now, I'd probably cook them a little bit more just to kind of brown them a little. But since we're going to be reheating these the day that we have them, I'm just going to leave them the way they are. I think they're cooked good enough. So I'm just going to go through and put about 1/6 of this pan into our meal prep containers. So I ran a little bit short on the turkey. Like I said, that was a little less than 1.5 pounds. So under here, my husband, we had a little bit of barbecue chicken left from dinner last night. So my husband said just throw some of that in this one for him. So that's what's underneath there. So that's our lunch. Turned out to be a really good portion. Oh my gosh, y'all, look at that. Look how good that looks. So now she says to just let it cool for about 10 minutes. I don't know if you can see that on the side. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. It smells so good. I cannot wait to try this. So I'm gonna let that sit and cool for about 10 minutes, and then I'm just gonna cut it into 6 portions and put it in my containers. All right, I am actually going to be having some sugar-free syrup just to take in these containers to top it with. And I'm also going to use the Swerve confectioner sugar. This is 0% sugar, but I'm just going to be putting it on it today for visual purposes for you all. But what I would do if I were you is just wait until the day that you have it on there, because it will kind of disintegrate into it between now and the day you eat it. So just wait until that day. So I'm going to be measuring out. You can actually have 1/4 cup of this for 0 point. Whenever I have weighed or measured out 1/4 cup for my husband and I, we never eat that much. We always end up just eating half of it. So I'm just going to do the 1/8 cup for us, which is the 2 tablespoons or 30 milliliters. So I'm just going to weigh out 30 milliliters, and I'm just going to weigh it in one just to make sure it's going to fit in here, because these are really small containers. Actually, it's going to be perfect. Looks like these are 2 tablespoon containers. So these little containers have little screw-on caps, and I really like these. It came with 6 of them. I had a great big set that I bought of containers. They're just different ones. Like I put oatmeal in it, cereal in some. I have one that I use for coffee, and I just never realized that these ones were in there. So it comes with 6 of these. So this is going to be perfect for meal prep. It'll fit anything that you want, just 2 tablespoons worth. It'll fit perfect. So since that's 1/8 cup and I can actually have 1/4 cup, I'm not going to bother weighing the rest, because I know for me it's just going to be 0 points anyway. All right, so I've had this cooling for about 10 minutes. So now I'm just gonna kind of, oh, I don't want to break that berry. I'm gonna try and just split it into 6 without squishing the berries on the top. And you can also add different things. She says, you know, you can add more berries if you want, or add like some Cool Whip. That would be good on it too. So I just try and eyeball it, get it into an even 6 pieces. My house smells so good. So I will tell you, I have recently found pound dropper recipes, I would say maybe like within the last 6 months, and I am really impressed with a lot of her recipes. I really like them. All right, let's see what this looks like. Oh, look at that. And I'm telling you, that is heavy. Oh yeah, that is going to be so good. And then I'll just drizzle some of the syrup on it that day. So what I did is I took these containers I get from the Dollar Tree, and I just put some confectioner's sugar in there. So we'll just use that each day, but just for visual purposes, let's just do this. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm excited to have these this week. So if you're new to my channel, I usually do meal prep reviews later in the week, so I will let you know how these turn out. Sometimes though, I end up eating these obviously before my video goes up. So if I eat these before I get it all edited, then usually I'll do a pop-up and let you know how they were. All right, so the breakfast is done. Like I said, I'm so excited for these. So the points on this, again, are 5 points on blue and purple, 7 points on green if you make them the way I made them with the whole eggs. If you use liquid eggs, then just 6 points. And for calories, 174 calories for the French toast casserole. And then your calories, you'll have to count extra for, actually the swerve is 0, and then the syrup is like 5 calories. All right, everyone, it's actually Monday morning. I'm teleworking today, and I have not even touched my meal prep video. I haven't even started putting any of the clips together, so it's gonna probably be out a little bit late, so I should have time to stick this clip in here. So I am gonna try this. My husband already tried this. He said it was amazing. So I reheated this in the microwave for probably about 1 minute and 10 seconds. So here it goes. Oh my word. Oh y'all, this is so good. Yes, this is so good. I think it would be great with Cool Whip on top too if you don't want syrup. This is really good. I should have tasted it before putting the syrup on it, because sometimes, you know, some people don't like syrup. Sometimes it's the syrup that makes the flavor of things. But I think this would be good even without the syrup. So definitely love it. Okay, so right now I actually still have my potatoes in the oven, and I also have my breakfast in the oven. But I'm going to move on to the dinner kits. So I'll make sure to put this after the breakfast and lunch. So if you're new to my channel, this is what I do for my dinner. I just make DIY meal kits. I'm just basically portioning everything out. So the prep work is going to be done. When I get home from work, I can just pull the kit out of my fridge and everything's done. I'm not washing the produce or anything like that. Just like I said, measuring things, and that's it. So for example, this night we're having barbecue grilled pork chops. My husband will do these on the grill. And for the barbecue sauce, we're just going to use the 0 point barbecue sauce. If we were using like regular Sweet Baby Ray's or something, I would actually weigh that out so that I would know how many points we're each getting. But since we're using the 0 point kind, I'm not going to bother doing that. So all I've done, I'm doing it with squash and zucchini lime crema. This is 7 points on all programs. For calories, I really didn't give calories because it just depends on the pork chops that you use and how much squash and zucchini you have. For the lime crema, it's just light sour cream with some lime juice in it. So I'm just putting these in there. I don't mix the lime juice in there right now because it's just, I don't want it to be overbearing by the time we have it. So for this, I have 2 tablespoons for each of us of the light sour cream. So that is actually 2 points, and then our pork chops are 5. So I just have a squash and zucchini down in the bottom of the bag there, and I'm gonna just put the rest of the stuff in the kit. That's it. And then I already have our pork chops that we have portioned out already, so I'll stick those in there. And I might have to weigh those, so seem like they're a little bit more than 5 ounces. And I don't do every dinner kit. I usually just do a couple of them. Some of them are things that you really can't do ahead of time, and then some of them are just ones that I don't want to pre-package everything like this early in the week. So I usually only just have a couple of them. And for my salmon night, we always have salmon on Monday night, so I typically always do my salmon one. This week we're doing garlic Parmesan salmon with rice and broccoli, and I have with cheese. The points on here are with the cheese, so 6 blue, purple, 14 green. Again, it just depends on the salmon you use. If you use wild caught, then it would be less. And then for calories, it's 360 calories plus whatever you have for your vegetables. So for this one, I just take my broccoli, just cut it up and put it in the bottom. And then for the rice that I have with this one, it's just the 90-second ready rice. So I don't do anything with that. So the dinner kits that I do are not necessarily meant to show you like a specific recipe. It's just meant to show you how I do my dinner kit. So just cut the broccoli up, put it in the bottom of the bag, and that is it. And then this night is so easy. For this night, I honestly use my Instant Pot for the broccoli. I put it in there on high pressure for 1 minute. And then I do a quick release on it, and it's perfect. All right, and then I have my topping for my salmon. In here I have 1 tablespoon of light butter. In here I have, the recipe calls for a tablespoon of minced garlic. I actually have about 3 cloves in there that I just minced up. Those will actually get mixed together, but I don't mix them right now. And then in here is the topping for the salmon. Also, this is 1/8 of a cup of Parmesan cheese, 1/8 of a cup of panko breadcrumbs, 1/8 of a cup of the regular seasoned breadcrumbs, and about 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. So basically what I'll do is melt the butter. I'll mix the butter with the garlic, and then it'll all get mixed together in a bowl, and that'll be the topping for the salmon. And then I have my salmon portioned out, and in here I have about 1 pound of salmon. And what we usually do is have about 5 ounces each. And on salmon night, my dogs have salmon with us. And if you ever can't fit everything in your kit, that's fine. You can always just leave it, leave the meat out separate. And also, depending on the vegetables that you're using, you may not want to seal the bag. So for example, if I put asparagus in here, I don't seal the bag. The asparagus can kind of get a little bit not good. Broccoli usually holds up in the bags, but asparagus not so well. And again, these reusable bags will be linked down in the description box below. I've had many of you ask about these bags and about washing them, because some of you have said that it says not to wash them in hot water. You can actually wash these real well in the sink. I just use hot water and soapy hot water. But just be careful up here. You don't want this to get in the real hot water. So just be careful with the seal, because it will, I have actually ruined one from putting it in the dishwasher when I first got them. So that is all I do for my dinner kits. Okay, so I really don't have anything to do for snacks, because I was gonna cut up a cantaloupe, but I think it's gonna make it another week, and I had quite a bit of berries left, so I don't wanna cut the cantaloupe up as well. I also have some pineapple slices I can use, and then I have the protein yogurt. I can have that for snacks. Those are 2 points. And then I also have my rice cakes, my Laughing Cow cheese, and also we have some caramel corn rice cakes as well. So I have plenty enough for snacks this week, and there's really no portioning I need to do. Like sometimes if I have pretzels, I might weigh those out, but with the rice cakes, I just have 1 of those for 1 point. I spread a Laughing Cow cheese wedge on them. They are so good. So I hope you like this video. Let me know in the comments how you're doing with your meal prepping. And as I always say, meal prep does not have to be anything big. You can just simply cut and portion out your fruit for the week, and that is a form of meal prep. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe. I'll talk to you in my next video. I'm Kristi, and I'm Planning Us Healthy. Just spilled half of my bottle of vanilla.
Let's see, you can see the bottom to see if it's burning because it's right there on the edge. On the edge, you say?
On the edge, what you always have me.
Huh?
On the edge, what you always have me.
Yeah.
You always put me over the edge.
I put you over the edge?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh my gosh. That's not going on there. 34 years of putting me over the edge.